CX HD front bumper is a slim and clean option for the 2013 through 2018 Ram 1500 owners, excluding the Rebel models, who want a functional front bumper and want to keep their truck's front end very stylish and pretty minimal. Now, this is a sharp front bumper that has that aggressive pre-runner style appearance, doing a great job at enhancing the look of oversized tires that you may have mounted up to your truck and adding some additional clearance on the front end, which is perfect if you are taking your Ram on the dirt and want more room to work with when it comes to clearance. Now, this kit also includes lighting if you know that you want to upgrade to some off-road style LEDs compared to swapping over your factory fogs when it comes to a front bumper for an all-new look and function in the front end of your Ram. And it's also an affordable choice for a heavy-duty front bumper on the page if you want a quality bumper without the high price point. Now, there are a couple of things that make this front bumper stand out, but one of them is the compact design. Now, it's super slim in the middle. It has chunkier angled up ends compared to the center for that improved clearance that I have mentioned. It does have filler plates for underneath the headlights for a very finished appearance to this bumper, and the cut of the bumper itself follows that lower grille line perfectly for a very well-fitted appearance, almost a custom look. Now, that look is enhanced further by the honeycomb mesh plating on the outer wing surrounding the fog light mounting points here, and those are made of a tough plastic material as far as the inserts are concerned, so you can pop those out and paint them if you want a more custom appearance to this front bumper. Now, the center honeycomb filler plate also adds a bold, sporty look, but can be removed as well to install a light bar if you do choose to add it on to the lights that are included in this kit. Now, speaking of those, the lighting included, these are a huge aspect of this setup. They're both 3 inches in size, feature multiple incredibly bright 5-watt Cree LEDs, and they have a 6000 K color temperature for a clear white color, improving your truck's front end visibility compared to the OE fogs and make for a much more modern appearance. This bumper is made of a heavy-duty steel plate and tube construction, so while it's shaped to avoid obstacles, it doesn't falter if you do come in contact with them, protecting the lower front end of the truck very well. And you do also have a little skid plate here for some front underbelly protection. Now, on top of the bumper, this is also coated in a textured black powder coat finish. It's a fine powder coat, so it adds more of a premium appearance to the bumper. It matches other HD accessories on the truck that you may have added or plan to add very well, and of course, it protects the steel underneath from rusting from the elements over time. Now, the lighting included is also tough with an aluminum housing and a finned back for solid heat dissipation, and as you can see, it also has a nice black coating on it to avoid any corrosion. Now, these also have a tough impact resistant polycarbonate lens and an IP67 dust and waterproof rating, which is perfect for the location that they're at, seeing that they will see a decent amount of kick-up and even water if you live in a wetter area. Now, this also includes all of the brackets and hardware for a bolt-on installation and all of the wiring for a plug-and-play install. This is about $600, which makes this one of the more affordable choices in the category for a front bumper or a front protective solution. Now, again, this option stands out with the more compact build that it has, the lighting that it includes, and the minimalistic design that it brings to the table, which is great for the Ram owner who wants the look, lighting, and protection rather than any additional features like recovery that you may not need for your particular lifestyle. That's also a full bolt-on swap solution, so it doesn't require any major modifications in order to bolt it up, and it offers a complete new appearance rather than a bolt-over solution to your factory front bumper like a grill guard or a bull bar, while being a fraction of the price compared to some of those other premium choices, making it a great option if those are some of the aspects that you're looking for when it comes to choosing a front bumper. Install here is a 1 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter. The install is fairly straightforward, but it should probably take you about 2 hours or so to get this bolted up and the lights wired up. Now, at this point, I'm gonna hand it over to one of our installers. They're gonna show you a detailed breakdown on how you can bolt this up to your Ram at home. So that's gonna wrap it up for what I have to say. Let's go ahead and get into the install.
For this install, you will need various impacts, various size ratchets, some extensions, 4 and 5 millimeter Allen sockets, 7, 8, 10, 11, 13, 16, and 18 millimeter sockets, 13 and 17 millimeter ratcheting wrenches, a 17 millimeter wrench, the provided Allen wrenches, and also not shown here is an extra set of hands. What's up guys, today we're going to be doing a bumper on our Ram, but before we get started we're going to send you to watch a quick video on how to remove your factory bumper, and we'll see you when you get back.
Alright, so the first step in our uninstall with the hood popped, and you will have to remove your rad support cover. Our truck does not currently have one. Grab a 10 millimeter socket and remove the 4 bolts holding on the top of the grill. With all of the bolts removed, lift up on the brackets on the grill, slide it off your truck, grab the bottom and pull straight towards you. All right, at this point we need to remove 3 of the bolts holding the bumper to the wheel well liner. Our truck only has 1 here, but make sure that you have all 3 of these out. Grab your 7 millimeter socket and remove them. I'm also going to remove this 7 millimeter bolt as well, so we can peel back the wheel well liner and have a bit more room. With the wheel well liner pulled back, now we can see the bolt that holds on the fender to the bumper. You might have a little bit of trouble, but it's right on the inside here. It is pretty long, and it's in a precarious location, so you're gonna need a small ratchet or even a ratcheting wrench, 10 millimeter. If you like, you can take the headlight out to get a little bit better access, but if you're cool to use a small tool, you can get to it right from the wheel well. Let's go ahead and remove it. All right, now we're gonna repeat that process on the other side. All right, so at this point, we're gonna remove the nuts that hold on our bumper to our frame. Now you will notice this new replacement bolt on our bumper. So we're gonna need to use a wrench on the back side here. You guys will not. So grab your 18 millimeter socket and remove these. Now you may want a swivel socket for some of these to be able to get a good angle on your nut. Go ahead and remove them. All right, now the last one is a little bit higher up, so we're gonna be using a ratchet because the gun does not fit. It also may be a little bit hard to see, but it's the same concept of the other 3 you just took out. Grab your 18 millimeter socket and repeat that process on the other side. Again, we're going to be using a swivel for this one. It's a little bit easier. And make sure your bumper is supported so that it does not fall when you take out the rest of the bolts. And finally, the last nut all the way up the top. We're gonna grab a ratchet for this one and remove it. And finally, make sure you unplug the fog light harness, press down on the gray tab, and remove it. All right, with all of those bolts removed, you can grab your bumper. You may want a friend for this step to help you out, and slide it off the truck. With the bumper cover removed, you can now grab the bumper itself and pull it off of your truck.
Alrighty guys, welcome back. Now that we have our factory bumper and everything off, the first thing we're going to do before we install our new bumper is install our wiring harness and switch. It's the best time to do it because everything is off and you can route everything very easily. So So we're gonna run our switch through our firewall into our cab, and the best spot to do that is gonna be this grommet back here on the firewall next to your brake booster. Should push through very easily. Just might have to give it a little bit of persuasion. So we're gonna take our switch. I'm gonna feed as much wire as possible through here first. Now that we have most of that fed through, we'll go into the cab and mount our switch. Now once you have your switch all the way through and your wiring pushed in, you can go into the cab and we'll mount our switch. Now we can come to our battery and hook up our positive and negative terminals, but before we do that, we're gonna come to the inline fuse on our positive wire and pull that out of the way. That's gonna keep our circuit dead until we're ready to power it up. Take the cover off, pull that fuse out, we wanna set it aside. So we're gonna get our positive terminal on. We're gonna grab our 11mm socket and come to our positive terminal on our battery. Undo that nut. I'm gonna get this on. Reinstall that nut. Tighten that right back in. Now we're gonna grab our 13mm socket and come to our ground side. Remove this nut. And you wanna be very careful not to drop these. That one on. Get our nut back on and tighten that right back down. Next, we're gonna route our plugs for our fog lights. So we're gonna drop these down behind front of our vehicle. You do have some openings down here. Just reach through and pull these down into the open area below where your bumper's gonna go. And we'll do the same thing for the passenger side. Now you have the freedom to route these however you would like and tuck them in and make them look all nice. That is totally up to you on how you do that. You just want to make sure that you're out of the way of any hot or moving parts so you don't damage your harness or your vehicle in the process. All right, so now that we have our wiring all done, we can come over to our table and we've got our bumper up on the table. The first thing we need to do is fold out our wings. Now these are held in place for shipping purposes only, very loosely with this one bolt on each of our wings. So we're just gonna grab that, get those off. We can discard these when we're done. We will not need them. And once you have those bolts off, you'll need to lift up on your bumper. You can fold your wings out, like so. Now that we have our wings folded out, on the inside you will find 2 mounting holes for each wing. So we've got our provided 16mm bolts with lock washers and flat washers. We're gonna get those 2 in each hole for each side and get our bumper wing secured. So we'll find our mounting holes, get our 2 bolts in. And once we've got this side started, we'll do the same thing for the other wing. Now that we have our 4 mounting bolts in, we'll grab our 16mm socket extension on a ratchet and tighten those down. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. Now we can tighten up our 2 pivot bolts at each spot on our wing. So we've got a 17mm wrench and a 17mm ratcheting wrench. Same for this one. And then you can do the same thing for the other side. Next, we can get our fog lights in place. So the first thing we're going to need to do is mount our bracket to our fog light and then our fog light and bracket to the bumper. So we're going to take our 2 provided flange nuts and our bracket. We're going to get these in place. There are openings on each side where we need to drop in our flange nut, and then we'll install our provided Allen head screws. We're going to get our flange nut dropped in. Sometimes it even helps to get your flange in first or your bracket. Drop that in. Get our provided Allen head screw through. Just want to get it started now. If your nut moves with your screw, that's how you want it. And we'll do the same thing for the other side. Once you have those started, you can grab your provided Allen wrench. Start running these in. Now the cutout of the fog lights themselves will hold your nuts in place. We're not going to fully tighten these, we just want to get them snug. Now that we have our fog light set, we're going to tighten down this nut with our 13mm ratcheting wrench. Now once we have that set, make sure it's pointing where we want it to go. We'll use our provided Allen wrench to do our final tighten down on our Allen head screws. Now once you've got this side on, you can repeat the same process for the other side. Next we can install our upper trim panels. So these are going to line up with your bolt holes on your wings. Then we'll grab our provided 4mm Allen head screws with lock washers and flat washers. Get these started. We're going to line these up with our bumper. And we're going to grab our 4mm Allen socket and tighten these down. Now for a couple of these, you may need to switch out to a smaller ratchet. And once you have this side on, you can repeat the same process for the other side. Now we can reinstall our grill. We're going to set this back in place. Get our mounting tabs lined up, and we'll reinstall the 4 10mm screws up top. So we'll grab our 10mm socket on our impact and get these screws back in. Now while we're here, we can also reinstall our upper shroud. Get all your push clips back in place. Alrighty guys, now we're ready to mount our bumper. Now we've got an extra set of hands and we're going to reuse 4 out of the 6 of the factory mounting bolts. The upper studs on the factory one you can't get out. So we're going to get these in place on our mounting brackets and get our bumper in place. Now that we've got this loosely in place, we're going to come underneath and get our 18mm socket and tighten down our nuts. And we'll do the same thing for the other side. Next we'll plug our fog lights in, get our connector, make sure that snaps in place. And for your excess harness, you can tuck this up out of the way and secure it however you would like. Zip ties are nice and convenient. You just want to make sure this is out of the way and not hanging down to get caught on anything. And we'll do the same thing for the other side. Next, we're going to get our skid plate installed. So we've got our plate. We're going to line up our mounting holes with our threaded insert tabs on our bumper. Then to mount these, we'll get our 5mm Allen head screws with our lock washers and flat washers. Then we'll tighten our 4 bolts down with our 5mm Allen socket on our impact. Next we can install our license plate bracket. So we're going to grab our provided Allen screws and flat washers. We'll get this first one through our bracket. Put that in. And on the back side of that, we're going to add in another flat washer and our provided lock nut. That'll hold it in place. Swing the other one up. Do the same thing. Now to tighten these down, we're going to use our provided Allen wrench for our head of our bolt and our 10 mil socket for our lock nut. Now that we have everything in place, we're going to reinstall our fuse into our circuit. Now we've come into our cab to install our switch. Now grabbing for this, you're going to want to come right next to your parking brake pedal. Reach straight back from there. You're going to find your switch. You want to pull that through. Now this mounts with an adhesive backing, so we're going to remove the cover. And you can kind of stick it wherever you want. For demonstration purposes, we're just going to go right on the lower portion of our dash just to make things easy. Now we've got our backing off. We'll stick this right here. Now one thing to point out is when installing this at home, you will want to trim down your inner fender liner because it does hang down quite a bit on this new bumper because it is a tapered design. For demonstration purposes, we're not going to be trimming ours down, but definitely want to do that at home. Alrighty folks, that about wraps up our review and install of our Red Rock TCX HD front bumper for your 13 to 18 Ram 1500, excluding the Rebel. Thanks for watching, and as always, for everything Ram, keep it right here at AmericanTrucks.com.